How can one type of a man appeal to a majority amount of women globally? The tall, dark, handsome man who earns, for the sake of understanding, let's use the US dollars currency, earns six figures. Yeah. And and it's very unfortunate that this kind of man is considered a high value man. I mean, we place value on things that are tangible, that can be seen, rather than things that are felt, that are experienced, like character, like treatment, like values, like how faithful this person is or how generous he is. And it's very funny how sometimes the six-figure earning considered high value man can be, rich or wealthy even, but not generous. It's very sad that 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 the income, the money, or the values, the intangible attributes are not given a huge airtime, like as opposed to the tangible things. And this is day three of me sharing truths I wish I learned and I understood and even knew very early on in my single years. And today, this is what I want to say: marry or choose your standards over your type. Because let's be honest, where does the type or the kind of man we are attracted to, or we want, or we would want for a husband, or just someone to be in a relationship with, or the kind, or the people that we date, where does type come from? I used to wonder this myself, but I've come to realize it's because of the programming, social programming from the TV shows, the music videos, the women that are described or the men that are described in the music lyrics, from movies, from magazines, the male and female models. Now, for the sake of the video, let's talk about men. And I'll be looking at my notes so that I can stay organized and not digress. So, like I said, it's from the social programming, and it's very sad that these things are considered high value when really it's not bad to have a good physique, to have money, to have a car, to have a house, to, the material things. But if having those things minus good character is what makes a man high value, I think we are in big, big, deep trouble. Yeah. Um, I think as I've grown older, I have learned to, I believe my appetite has changed. And no, I don't mean like appetite, like eating, but rather I'd say the type, if I can say, that I once had for men, I don't think I have it anymore, or rather, it's not that important to me. I don't think physical attributes are that much important to me. And I'm not saying this, I'm not saying that I don't consider attraction at all, or attraction is not important. No, it is. It's very important that you're attracted to the person who you will eventually choose and get married to. But I would say I don't place the priority on the physical attributes over the the intangible attributes, over the standards that I have set for myself when it comes to dating and relationships and marriage eventually. So let's just say romantic relationships for the sake of making it easier to communicate the whole thing. But I would say I now, it's very sad that I no one ever sat me down and told me that um this is what love is. Love, real love looks like this. Real, healthy, true love is experienced in this kind of way. And for me, for years, it's very sad. I used to think wild. I mean, I used to think butterflies that I used to feel I used to think that was a sign that I love someone and that someone loves me. Meanwhile, and the wilder the butterflies or the aggressive the butterflies were, the more I thought this is the right person for me. Not knowing that healthy, I believe they're healthy. Butterflies are uh, healthy butterflies, if I can say, are a good thing. But when it's too aggressive, I think that's anxiety. I read that somewhere that sometimes butterflies are not a sign of you, being giggly, falling in love with someone, but rather they're a sign of um, anxiety. I don't know. I haven't read that much about it, but I would say I was so, so, so wrong. And what I have learned that right now, as I have grown and matured, is that I would rather experience someone at a slow, healthy kind of pace. And I appreciate the slow burn. I mean, getting to know someone, getting to experience someone as a friend. I mean, I even believe in dating for dating for friendship, meaning having I mean, knowing what I want in a relationship, but not meeting someone for the first time and then right then and there expecting that he should be like this. I don't know, how do I communicate this properly? What I'm trying to say is I'd rather get to know someone as a friend without the pressure of performing, and then moving from friendship to a relationship. I mean, for years I've heard that it's very important that you fall in love with a best friend. That friendship is the best foundation to build on before a romantic relationship. Anyways, now, yeah, I appreciate a slow burn over a roller coaster kind of. No, I don't want that. I mean, as a 30 plus woman, I like my peace. I don't like chaos. Yeah. Anyway, so I'd rather choose to date and marry standards over my type, which is really a preference when you come to think of it. A type is just a preference, meaning, and that's why I'm saying choose and marry your standards over your type, because preferences for the most part, because they are often tied to physical things that can be attained if you put enough effort and money. Even if it's the physique, someone can go to the gym for it. Yeah. If it's the fashion, clothing style, look, a good man in all other areas, but just because he doesn't know how to dress makes him not a high value, or not a good man for you. I think that's a problem. You can literally help someone. Some people are they just don't know better. And if the man shows they are okay with learning to become more fashionable, then I don't see a problem why you should. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see why you wouldn't give this man enough grace to teach him, if that's your strong area. You're a good stylist, you know how to match clothes. And I think we are in a period, or we're in an era where grace is very thin. It's very sad, but I believe we could do We could do so well with giving people grace, extending grace to other people the same way we would love them to extend grace to us. Now, I would like to give a reference from about two men from the Word of God, and these two men are none other than King Saul and King David. See, let's see how they were described, or the kind of people they were, and so that we can understand better what I'm trying to communicate here. When you read the book of First Samuel, chapter 9, verse 1 to 2, let's see how the word of God, the Bible, describes King Saul. It says there was a wealthy, influential man named Kish from the tribe of Benjamin. He was the son of Abiel, son of Zeror, son of Bechorath, son of Aphiah of the tribe of Benjamin. His son Saul was the most handsome man in Israel. Wow. Head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the land. This is how the Bible describes Saul. So in other words, we can call him, or in the modern world, we can call him a fine man. He was a fine man. Imagine how women are so crazy about height nowadays. Like literally, if you've seen the Pop the Balloon or Fine Love show, I normally watch clips from time to time on YouTube, and literally you'd see a woman not choosing a man just because he is not as tall as she would like him to be. Oh my goodness. It's very sad sometimes, but I understand people are entitled to their opinions and their choices, but what? Because of that? Just because of height? Oh my goodness. But unfortunately, so even though he came from a very wealthy, influential family, and he was handsome, he was tall, but he wasn't really God's perfect will choice as a king for the nation of Israel. In He was not really he was not really Israel's king. He was not oh my goodness. He was not really God's first selection of a king for Israel. And when you come to when you really read about King Saul, he wasn't really that deep in his relationship with God. He didn't really have that committed relationship with God. And David, on the other hand, didn't have the wealthy family background. I mean, the Bible describes him as wait as when you read the book of First Samuel again, chapter 16, verse, where is it, 11 to 12. I mean, he was not ugly. 11 to 12, it says, then Samuel asked, are these all the sons you have? There is still the youngest, Jesse replied, but he's out in the fields watching the sheep and goats. Send for him at once. Samuel said, we will not sit down to eat until he arrives. So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, this is the one, anoint him. So he was dark. This one was darker. He was handsome and had beautiful eyes, but probably not as tall as Saul, I think, and didn't come from a wealthy or influential family like King Saul had come from. But guess what? He was a man after God's heart. He had a committed, faithful, deep relationship with God. And he was out there in the field learning the skills, learning what it takes to be a leader. God was teaching him how to be a leader through the way he was shepherding his sheep, the animals. So I really think it's very important that we as Christian women who are, in the process of dating, or you're waiting, you're single basically, and you expect to get married someday. I think it's very important to keep this in mind. What is important to you? That the man looks fine, but no depth or commitment in his relationship with Christ? Or maybe not according to societal standard, maybe he's not as handsome, he doesn't have all the flashy, good looking things, but he has a committed and deep relationship with Christ, and these other things can be worked on. I mean, is it finances? Is it, I mean, of course, if they are a good financial, if they're good financial, they're a good steward financially, even with the little that they have, it means they have the potential to grow. I mean, the word of God says, if you're trusted, if you are faithful with the little, you'll be trusted with more. That means this man may not earn the six-figure salary right now, but eventually he will grow to the six-figure and even become even a millionaire, because it's the discipline that he has right now with the little money that he has that will take him there. And even with his little, maybe this man is generous. He loves you. He cares for you. He will give whatever he can, however, even the little that he has, just to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're better, that he gives. This man gives for you. I think it's important to consider that, because listen, let me just read. Money can be earned and grown, physique can be trained for at the gym, clothes can be bought, and style can be learned. Houses and cars can be bought, but not good character, especially with the fear of God. You can't change someone. They should be working on themselves, and definitely not for you, because sometimes a man will say, you know what, I'll change for you. No, 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 no. I don't think you should. If you want to choose him based off that, go ahead, but I don't think you should do that, because the foundation on which he has built his change is not strong enough. You are a human being, you will disappoint him one day, and because of that, he will no longer want to change. The foundation should be so strong and steady, so much so that he will not want to go back on his own words, on the promise to change. God should be the foundation on which he decides to change and builds the change on. Because guess what? When he falls down, God will pick him back up. That's why I'm saying, just leave. I would suggest you leave that man to work on himself, to work out his issues, to work on his relationship with God. And if it's God's will for the two of you to be together, then you will be together. And again, am I saying choose a man that you're not attracted to? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, and I would like to read so that I don't deviate. What I'm saying is, let go of the world's and society's standards of, I don't know, handsomeness, of success generally, because the cars, the physique, the income, the house, the way they dress, there is a certain way society defines as successful, and there is a certain way where society doesn't think is successful. And I'm afraid that you might make the mistake of disregarding a man just because of something that can be worked on with a little bit of effort, like I said before, and money. And I think we should also let go of what the society regards as a high value man, in the sense that the the, the material things, and rather submit to God's will. And Israel, when you read when you read the first few chapters of First Samuel, they wanted a king because they saw other nations had kings, and they wanted to be ruled just like other nations are ruled. Why am I saying this? Sometimes we are so programmed by the world, by the society, that we feel this is the way things are supposed to be done. We think this is the way a successful man is supposed to look like. But guess what? Again, and this, if you're a Christian single woman, you should know by now that we do not operate based on the world standards, but based on what the word says as a standard. So it's very important that you submit to God's perfect will of the right man for you, because he knows people's hearts. Listen, when you go back to 1 Samuel chapter 16 from verse 6 to 10, um, this is what it says. When they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, surely this is the Lord's anointed. But the Lord said to Samuel, don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, this is not the one the Lord has chosen. Next, Jesse summoned Shimei, but Samuel said, neither is this the one the Lord has chosen. In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel, but Samuel said to Jesse, the Lord has not chosen any of these. Then, oh, okay. So you see, I would rather you submit to God's will, because he knows people's hearts. The word of God says he knows the end from the beginning. He knows who is the perfect man for you, not just the perfect man, but the perfect man for you, who will best complement you, your strengths, your weaknesses. David wasn't perfect, but he truly loved and worshiped God. And that is a man I would choose. I would rather choose and willingly submit to, because he'll handle my heart gently and respectfully with care, because he loves and submits to Christ. That's what I would say. So, girl, sis, beautiful lady, choose and marry your standards over your type. If this conversation has blessed you, please share this with another Christian single woman who you know would benefit from this as well. And please share with me what you have learned, what you think in the comments. I'll really be happy to learn and hear from you. Thank you so much once again. And don't forget to subscribe, and take care, and bye.